Yo, what it is, YouTube? It's your boy DC coming back with another bullseye of a video.
I'm out like the floor seats. I need everything like it's full screen. This feel like I'm on the grassy. I've been falling in love, actually. I love all of my girls' anatomy. She don't even speak when she mad at me. We're just keeping silence for the words I used to fake. Saying what it was, knowing that well that it ain't. I'm watching pins fall down. Too bad this strike don't count. I'm too used to welling up. Lucky a cannon ain't around. I got a bitch that hold me down, but I can still look up. I'm on it.
That's a really dope track that we're going to be using today, and I'm going to show you how to use this free Slate plugin, which is Fresh Air. I'm going to go a little bit more in depth about Fresh Air and how I like to use it and why it makes a differences on mixes. So don't forget to double check and make sure that you are subscribed to the page. Also down below, you want to support the channel, we'll check the links, grab a preset, book a mix, do what you want. But we're here right now, and we're going to drop these jams on your head, all right? Most importantly, let's look at the Fresh Air plugin. A lot of times, I would recommend you guys to sometimes use a analyzer tool, you know, and I noticed something about the analyzer tools is that sometimes they actually give you some insight into what the hell is genuinely going on, you know. So I guess whatever, this runs a little test tone, and as we can clearly see here, we're gonna fuck around with our Fresh Air and see what's actually happening under the hood. So when you start to push this mid-air band, you know, you can slowly start to see, okay, well, the mid-air band is kind of ducking out a little bit of harshness right here and is, for the most part, doing the high shelf, while still gradually increasing our low end and our mid-range, you know, indicating a mid-air, especially when you push it. A high-air band here, you know, is just kind of doing the same exact move, but it just keeps perpetually going up, you know. This one more has a cap to it, you know what I mean? So when you plug these bands together, this is kind of like the shape that they will produce, kind of like a gradual mid-range push and still that high-end shelf as well together. A lot of times how I like to get up on the Fresh Air plugin is I'll go like this and then start pulling that back until I get a nice mid-range shape in addition to a high-end shape. So that's a mentality that I have right there. The first preset that we're going to be using today is the Pro Master. And if you guys want this preset pack, you'll check it in the link down below. But when you look at that link down below, also check out the rest of the website in case there's anything else that you need. All right, so let's look at a section.
The playlist is me, better release all these tapes. I've been building up an archive of all these different takes. Place a bet on me like steak. We gon' see who made a way. We gon' see who gets a break. Now that I changed my way, does that mean you won't stay? I just couldn't let it go. I've been losing control. Started something like an F.
So the most important thing is that this is on the actual master fader. What I like to do is I actually like to kind of like make my mix bright in the beginning, mildly bright, because that's going to give me the texture of the high end, right? Because different EQ plugins, different saturator plugins, they all have different styles of high end. Like the Mag EQ, it has a certain type of high end. This one has a digital plastic type of high end. It reminds me of a lot of the auto-tune rappers, you know, have like Honcho and stuff like that. When they have that grocery bag, that really plastic, I would consider it as, I wouldn't go as far, but an AI type of high end, if that makes sense. It feels artificial versus where something like a Fairchild, a 670 is going to feel a little bit more natural. Even a Pultec is going to feel like natural sweetness. It's going to feel like natural sugar cane that came right off the plant. Okay. Two different types of sweetness. They just have different flavors to them a little bit. So that's where I find using a plugin like the Fresh Air to be very excellent in the sense that I can control my texture in the beginning by throwing it on that master fader, then working backwards on the rest of my mix when it comes to certain things like, okay, I'm going to lo-fi my plate. I don't want my plate to be bright because now everything is going to be mildly bright. Now I'm just working backwards and taking some brightness off of certain things. Now the mix has an overall cohesive shimmer, but still a focus at the same time, okay? Even when it comes to things like, you know, even like, was there background vocals? No, there wasn't. But you know, using a plugin like Split S, okay, so my mix was going to be naturally already kind of bright, you know, before I throw on any plugins, and I use some like Split S to dial back a little bit of that brightness on the individual track.
Down, too bad this strike don't count. I'm too used to welling up. Lucky a cannon ain't around. I got a bitch that hold me down, but I can still look up. I'm on it. Let's give them all what they want. I'm still tears away from a pack of punch. They learning off of crumbs, I'm learning off of lunch. I won't be mad when it flop, I just be mad I didn't drop. Somehow I'm still stuck doing stock, instead of counting cars and lots. This feeling I felt in school kept me away from you. I reload another shot, let anybody at the top use.
So you see how precise that split S is, just that it's only taking out the harshness that it genuinely needs to take it out. And that's why it's a plugin I consistently love to use, in addition to actually going in there and clip gaining to get my mix to be like super bright. This is like a mix that had to be super bright, super pop style mix, you know, high school backpack boat shoes type of mix. And we had to deliver on it. So on the actual vocal itself, I have the Pro Vocal preset, which is something that I like to use a lot. You know, after I've used the split S, after I've removed and stripped so much harshness out of the vocal, you know, using like maybe like a little bit of spectre on warm mode to also the saturation to square off that waveform, a little bit of that Weiss de-esser, the best de-esser in the game. I like to boost back a little bit of my brightness using this plugin. And remember how I say I always jump up on this thing like this, you know, I always go like this, link them together, push it, pull one back. If I hear it still doesn't sound right, maybe I might just link them together and keep them the way I did right here, you know? So.
Fleet, long drive in a short skirt, got plaid on me in the backseat. Flashing lights don't run me, got an army ready for the nosebleeds. Keep them up like the floor seats, I need everything like it's full screen. This feel like I'm on the grassy. I've been falling in love, actually. I love all of my girls' anatomy. She don't even speak when she mad at me. We're just giving silence for the words I used to fake. Saying what it was, knowing that well that it ain't. I'm watching pins fall down, too bad the strike don't count. I'm too used to welling up. Lucky a cannon ain't around. I got a bitch that hold me down.
So you hear how you can pick sometimes to only add presence and other times to add sheen, and it's just such a simple and direct plugin. Another wonderful way I like to use you know, this is to get my effects to come out a little bit more.
Fleet, long drive in a short skirt, got plaid on me in the backseat. Flashing lights don't run me, got an army ready for the nosebleeds. Keep them up like the floor seats, I need everything like it's full screen. This feel like I'm on the grassy. I've been falling in love, actually. I love all of my girls' anatomy. She don't even speak when she mad at me. We're just giving silence for the words I used to fake. Saying what it was, knowing that well that it ain't. I'm watching pins fall down.
So just by doing a little bit of that, you can get a little bit of things to cut through a little bit more, you know, because all of my effects are going into that. So that's the reverb, that's the delays, that's the widener, you know, the little H3000, you know, all that stuff is benefiting just from a dollop. Do a dollop of fresh air, my nigga. So it's just benefiting from a dollop of that. That's gonna help everything cut through a little bit more, because it's just like a kind of a gradual little boost, a little mid-range boost, a little bit of a brightness and a shimmering quality on top of this. I mean, even if you wanted to go for like a pro Tory Lanez mainstream style reverb, you could go fresh air. You go extended top end on your your reverb.
Fleet, long drive in a short skirt, got plaid on me in the backseat. Flashing lights don't run me, got an army ready for the nosebleeds. Keep them up like the floor seats, I need everything like it's full screen. This feel like I'm on the grassy. I've been falling in love, actually. I love all of my girls' anatomy. She don't even speak when she mad at me. Fleet, long drive in a short skirt, got plaid on me in the backseat. Flashing lights don't run me, got an army ready for the nosebleeds. Keep them up like the floor seats, I need everything like it's full screen. This feel like I'm on the grassy.
Even drive it a little bit more.
Fleet, long drive in a short skirt, got plaid on me in the backseat. Flashing lights don't run me, got an army ready for the nosebleeds. Keep them up like the floor seats, I need everything like it's full screen. This feel like I'm on the grassy. I've been falling in love, actually. I love all of my girls' anatomy. She don't even speak when she mad at me. We're just giving silence for the words I used to fake. Saying what it was, knowing that well that it ain't.
Now imagine how much of a great contrast that provides. We created this nice little, you know, spoiled hall reverb that has all the shimmer, it has all the toys for Christmas, and it's always getting gifts and shit. Then we have like that gritty little brother who never really got nothing, you know, that on that plate, and you know that's got a little bit of lo-fi, that's got a little bit of drive, it's got a little bit of L2 digital distortion working in its favor to give overall contrast. And you can automate something like that where you maybe like the beginning is the shimmery nice part, but then I feel like I'm on, you feel me? And then you know like now the rest of the reverb is like that darker reverb that's, you know, a little bit more distorted. And you done something like that, now the mix has become a little bit more interesting in a very subtle way, all because of what you decided to do. All right, in general, I think that when you're using like plugins like Fresh Air, or you're using like you're trying to get a bright mix and bright and smooth, always remember to take the opportunity to use one of the best tools that you can use, and it's called a low shelf. All right. So when you shelf or a high shelf, yeah, a high shelf, yeah. When you do a high shelf, just know that you have the opportunity to diminish the high end, and sometimes you can add a little bit of presence to a vocal by just diminishing like 20K and giving a little bit more focus.
Athlete, long drive in a short skirt, got plaid on me in the backseat. Flashing lights don't run me, got an army ready for the nosebleeds. Keep 'em up like the floor seats, I need everything like it's full screen. This feel like I'm on the grassy. I've been falling in love, actually. I love all of my girls' anatomy. She don't even speak when she mad at me. We're just giving silence for the words I used to fake. Saying what it was, knowing that we're
This is a situation where you might have a vocal that's kind of getting noisy because you've boosted so much top end. Another subtle option that you can take is a high cut. Now you got to be an expert to do this shit. But what you would do, you'll get on a high cut, you'll go with a steep filter, you know, preferably to still keep that aggression in that tone. You'll go all the way up to probably like 30K.
athlete. Long drive in a short skirt, got plaid on me in the backseat. Flashing lights don't run me, got an army ready for the
Because you've done such a subtle, maybe you could even be a little bit more subtle about it, you know. Because you've done something like this over here, now it's gonna kind of put more emphasis over here.
athlete. Now that playlist is me, better release all these tapes. I've been building up an archive of all these different takes. Place a bet on me like steak. We gon' see who made a way. We gon' see who gets a break. Now that I changed my way, does that mean you won't stay? I just couldn't let it go. I've been losing control.
Now your your ears can hone in. Your ears can really hone in on like, you know, kind of exactly that high mid energy. That high mid energy, that's another great way of taking advantage of the brightness, using shelves, using that super high end filter to get focus and clarity and presence and upfrontness without being annoying. So I want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of the YouTube family. Double check, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you like this, you'll see a link to a free preset pack down below. Go ahead and click that thing. And when you're on the website, if you want to get an upgraded deluxe preset pack, you'll see a bunch of them, or you can book a mix. I want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. I appreciate y'all. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.